the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, good Sunday evening, race fans, and welcome to the Dirt Racing Network's live coverage of the Midwest Dirt Racing Series Street Stocks at Knoxville tonight. Just a couple of rounds left in this one. We got this week, next week. We'll take a week off for the holiday over Memorial Day and come back the first Sunday in June to wrap the season up and crown a champion. Guys getting ready to clear the track for the last minute instructions from race control, the drivers meeting. We're going to get ready to go trackside here for our opening ceremonies. 20 drivers have checked in, so we will have everyone in the feature this evening for 35 laps. Going to be a good one. Was a great one the last time we were here. Guys, if you're in the chat, say hi. I don't care if you're on YouTube, Twitch, Trovo, or Facebook. Say hi in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Tell us who your favorite driver is. No qualifying for these drivers, so we're going to get ready to go down, get the opening ceremonies in, and when we come back, we will head straight into our heat races this evening. So, Mr. PA announcer, please take it away.
we take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
And now, please welcome Pastor Sam Foley from Port Orange, Florida, to deliver tonight's invocation.
Father, we ask today that you protect and bless those who participate in this race. May they use good sportsmanship and respect for each other. And we'll thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, a big thank you to the Foley boys. We are going to get ready to go down to the starting grid for heat number 1. The drivers are wrapping up the last couple of seconds of the drivers' meeting. They're going to start gridding out for us. And it is going to look like this. Heat number 1 on the pole. Going to be the 94 of Colt Collins. On his outside, the 67 of Rick Tackman. Andrew Humphrey, the 31 car, starting inside row number 2 next to Scott Bittinger. That's the 69 car. Then it'll be series points leader, Reed Rundle, the 43 on the inside of row number 3 next to Terry Dahl in the 53, and Craig Burlew, the 26 car, starting shotgun on the field. And Burlew, I feel like in the last 3 or 4 races in this series, has had really, really bad draws. He has started at the back of just about everything all night long and had to fight his way to make up any ground. Dakota, 20. I think there was 20 tonight. It was 7, 7, and 6 in our heat races. We are waiting on the 67 of Rick Tackman to join that starting lineup, so these drivers can roll off, and they're going to roll off. And Tackman, for whatever reason, sitting in his pits, he missed this start. That will be the reason why we are not seeing him. So that will move Scott Bittinger to the outside of the front row. Terry Dahl will move up in row number 2, and we'll see if they move Bittinger outside of row 3 or if he starts behind. Reed Rundle. I can't even tell you, but if you weren't in there for the last couple minutes of the practice session, you can't make it anyway. Because once it jumps past qualifying, no more entries. All right, we should be getting ready to go green here. This time out of turn 4, as they have already made parade lap number 1. Last time we were here, it was 3 wide racing quite a bit, and these guys really put on a great show. I expect more of the same this time around. pace truck in, ready to drop the green on heat number 1.
Green flag.
Midwest
green flag.
Dirt Racing Street Stocks is underway. Looks like there's a pretty good tacky groove right down on the inside right there. And Colt Collins is going to use that to grab the lead. Now it's Humphrey and Bittinger side by side for the second position. Reed Rundle clear of Terry Dahl has 4th. Now Bittinger off the top side of 4 moves himself into position number 2. Craig Burlew 5th, and Tackman made it out a little behind to these guys. It's going to show him 2 laps, but I don't think he really. I think when it comes around this time, it'll just show him way back of the field. You see the 43 car, Reed Rundle, move to the inside of the 31 of Humphrey. And that is something that Mr. Rundle is known to do. Get that car down there on the bottom and find end rows to make up positions. Right against that berm on the inside. Keeps the left rear in the sticky stuff. He grabbed the spot. Bittinger now going to make a run at Collins, trying to get the lead. About 5 car lengths between Bittinger and Rundle when they got to the end of the straightaway. And Bittinger lost ground on Collins, but he stretches back up close to him and away from Reed Rundle right there. Still 6 laps to go this time by. It's going to show Tackman 1 lap down. He is quite a ways back. So Tackman will start pretty close to the back of the feature unless something happens here and he gets a wave around. Right now, Collins out in front. Bittinger trying to hang on to second. Rundle not giving up on the bottom. He is still pressing. Trying to find something in the 43 now, and 1 and 2 goes up in the middle. Going to put the right rear right in that sticky stuff right above the slick groove. Back to the bottom in 3 and 4. Long straight drive in. Got the car to rotate. Pulls alongside. Just too much momentum. But he does make up ground, and he'll do that again when we go through 3 and 4. We may have a side-by-side battle when we get to 3 to go for second place. Both drivers reeling in the leader. Colt Collins not getting away from these guys. Here comes Rundle one more time down to the inside. Not enough. He's going to stay right there in third. Now Bittinger look to the inside in 1 and 2. Thought maybe he could make a move on Collins. That opens things up. Now Rundle is alongside down the backstretch. Bittinger pinned to the bottom, has to give up the spot. New second place car, the 43 of Reed Rundle. And with 2 laps to go, Collins may feel some pressure before we get to the end of heat number 1. Bittinger trying to cut back underneath. Just not quite enough momentum when you cut through that slick on the exit. He doesn't have enough drive to pull alongside and move Rundle further up the hill. White flag in the air, half a second between the leader, second place. Just a couple of car lengths between Rundle in second, Bittinger in third. Humphrey still hanging on to fourth, then Dahl and Burlew 5 and 6. Tackman a long ways behind in that 7th and final spot. We're going to come out of turn 4, first checkered flag of the night. Colt Collins will pick that up. Then Reed Rundle, Scott Bittinger, Andrew Humphrey, Terry Dahl, and Craig Burlew rounding out heat number 1. So we'll get ready to look at the starting lineup for heat number 2. And they will assemble in this order right here. The 81 of Jarrett Tannehill on the pole. The 74 of Peter Brees to his outside. Second row inside. Multiple time winner. Got his podium string broke a couple of weeks ago and then got right back on it the next week. Cole Duggar, the 11 car. Inside row 2. Then Colby Collins, the 031. On the outside of row number 2 there, starting position number 4. Michael Lemanchik in position number 5. A little sheet metal bending going on pit road right there. You heard that bang. He'll have Josh Territt-Hill in the 88 car starting next to him in the third row. And shotgun in this one, the 17 car of Dean Burnt. And Burnt back to that blue and yellow machine he ran in season number 1, I believe, for a brief period of time. Good look there. Get a look on the front row at our front 2 cars here. Looks like Peter Brees may be updating the 74 car with a little bit of new paint. That car has been purple for a while. Now it looks like maybe it's green. Keep your eyes on the second row on the inside. The black car, purple stripe, purple numbers. Cole Duggar is one of his favorite tracks, and he excels here quite well. But our pace truck is in. We're waiting on Mr. Starter down here almost into turn 1 to show us a green flag. He should do so about right here.
Green, green, green.
He does, and a good side-by-side start for everybody. They were all the way down to turn 1 before they actually got going here. And Brees got a great run off the top of 2. He grabs the lead. Tannehill sliding into second. And then Colby Collins right in the back end of that 81 car. Little tap between those two. That opens the door for Duggar. And Hill almost made it 3 wide right there. Duggar through the slick, didn't get it all the way up in front of Tannehill, and Tannehill's going to hang on to second, at least for now. But Duggar not afraid to drive that car deep in the corner. He will keep putting the pressure on. Now Tannehill clears. That's going to put him in a line. It'll be Brees, Tannehill, Duggar, Territt-Hill. Then Lemanchik, Burnt, Collins having trouble, and he has fallen all the way to the tail of the field. We're going to watch the battle for second. The 81 of Tannehill hanging onto the spot now. Drive down the hill and alongside. No, not enough momentum. I think he lost a little bit getting into the slick right there, and he puts the left front up on the berm. And he couldn't do anything with that. So we're going to come around to halfway right here in heat number 2. That time, Tannehill got way wide in the middle of 3 and 4, opened up the door, and I think you're going to see Duggar try to move him up the hill. He just couldn't quite get there. Couldn't keep the nose alongside the door and move Tannehill out of the line. They are both running down on the 74 of Peter Brees right now. Brees hanging on for the first 6 laps. Can he get 4 more out in front of the field and win the heat race this evening? Top 3 breaking away from Territt-Hill in the 88 in 4th. It's going to be a tight battle the last 3 laps of this one. Now Tannehill pulls to the inside along with Peter Brees. Had the nose at the door. Brees still in the lead. Tannehill up the hill. Across the nose, Brees cuts down. Duggar cuts even lower. Duggar's got a good run 3 wide down the backstretch. Brees was in the middle. Duggar down on the very bottom. I think Duggar's going to come out of here with the lead. And he does off turn number 4. Went 2 for 1. Shuts the door on Brees. Brees gave him a little fender for the effort. Now Brees with a good run off of 2. Can he find the grip in the middle of 3 and 4 down here? Bite forward and past the 11. Got the car up in the middle in the slick. Tannehill staying tucked right in behind Duggar. White flag in the air, and Duggar has the lead. Brees Now in jeopardy of losing second as Tannehill has the momentum line. He'll pull around half a car in front going into turn 3. Duggar going to pick up the win. Who's going to get second? Tannehill will take it away from Brees. And Tarrant Hill in 4th, Lemanchik 5th, and Burnt 6th. Colby Collins took the car to the pits at some point during that run, and he will finish in 7th. So one more heat race to go. We'll get down here. We'll see what it looks like. It's going to be John Brunner, the 46, on the pole, next to Colby Cooper in the 9. Shane Yates, the 11 car, inside of row number 2, next to Gary Budzing. That's the 77. And then Dan Tefelsky and Garrett Boyd, the 40 and 21 cars, will start side by side in row number 3. Six cars, 10 more laps. Our feature will be set. The guys will get a couple of minutes to run the track a little bit more during the warm-up period, and then 35 laps for our feature this evening. So lights off on the pace truck. Heat 3 about to get underway. Final heat of the evening. So a little blink out of the 21 car there. Is going to be Brunner and Cooper bringing us to the green right here in the middle of the front stretch. Starter has the flag in hand, shows it to the field. We're underway. Final heat race of the evening. Good start on the bottom for the 46. Brunner now gets the right rear up in the slick. Cooper didn't even lift and drove right on by on the high side. That opens the door with Brunner's slip for Yates, and then Brunner puts the right rear in the left front, puts Yates in a 3 wide. Boyd's on the bottom. Budzing's in the middle. Yates is on the top. Still 3 wide through the middle of 1 and 2. Boyd on the bottom. Budzing was in the middle, and Yates wanted that middle. He and Budzing with a little contact. Yates grabs 3rd. Boyd grabs 4th. Budzing relegated back to the 5th position. Tefelsky trying to hang on in 6th. But it is all Cooper out in front. 3/4 of a second probably when they come off the corner right here. Make it 6/10. John Brunner trying to hang on. Here comes Yates down on the bottom, and Yates found some grip through the center, but not enough on exit to take the spot away. Boyd's still 4th. He and Budzing look like they're going to start to go at it as they get side by side. Boyd up right above the slick. Budzing right through it. Boyd having connection issues like crazy right now. Meanwhile, Cooper staying out in front. He's got it out to 7, almost 3/4 of a second, almost 8/10 now. Battle's gonna be for second as Yates got alongside Brunner once again. But Brunner holding the high line, has all the momentum on the exit. And Yates will keep working on him. Here's a good run out of 2, just not quite enough. We'll see if he drives it deep into 3, slides up the hill. He does exactly that. Can Brunner find enough momentum coming down the hill and get back around him? Clears him by a card length. Hello, Hoosier. Still over 3/4 of a second out in front. Make it almost 9/10 that time down the backstretch for Cooper. Brunner Trying to keep Yates pinned to the bottom. I don't know if that's going to work. There's grip down there. This time Yates going to go for the big long slider in 1 and 2. Brunner should be able to cross over. Can he find momentum down the backstretch and clear the 11 car one more time? He just goes right up the hill and keeps Yates pinned in behind, slams the door, and then loses the car across the fluff. 2 to go this time. Now Yates has it. Oh, they're hooked up. And Yates going to get hooked off that rear bumper. They're going to keep this thing green, but that cost Yates. He falls to third, and he's in the clutches of Garrett Boyd. Boyd was stuck in the slick and couldn't find any momentum off the corner. So Yates will hang on to third. Boyd is still fourth. Colby Cooper, 1.6 seconds out in front as we take the white flag. No sprints tonight. Oh, you know what? Later sprints, Hoosier. In about an hour sprints. The, oh, shoot. I forget the name of it now, but 410 sprints. Dominic Santina has the call. Final heat of the night. Your winner, Colby Cooper. Yates comes home second as he gets around Brunner at the line. And then Boyd and Tefelsky back there. So we're going to see a B main, it looks like. This B main looks like it is just going to be for final starting positions down here on the grid for the 35-lap feature. So it'll be Terry Dahl and Michael Lemanchik in row 1, Gary Budzine and Craig Burlew in row number 2, Dean Burnt and Dan Tefelsky in row 3, and Rick Tackman and Colby Collins in row number 4. So Tackman, a chance to improve his starting position a little bit via this B main. Oh, and there is a car off the track out here. I'm watching the All-Star Circuit of Champions race too, and I don't know who that was, but man, he just destroyed that car. He left quickly. This is fixed. I think that 410, I want to say it's Down Dirty Outlaws, comes at about 9:30 Eastern, and I believe that is open setups for those guys. They usually have a pretty big field. They'll have 40 or 50 guys there. Mondays are going to start being a thing again very soon. Dirt Slingers will have their Monday Night Thunder. Sprint cars back in action here a couple of weeks. Probably right after Memorial Day. I know they have a big event on June 27th, the Jason Johnson Memorial, 4th annual Jason Johnson Memorial. A few surprise guests in the pre-show for that you might want to check out. So Pace Truck headed off the track. B main.
Green flag, green flag.
Under the green flag. 15 laps. This is just for the final starting spot for these guys in tonight's A main. They're all going to make it through. Right now, Lemanchik off the top side of 2. Grabbed the lead away from Dahl. They were trying to get 3 wide. Budzine was right against the berm down on the inside right there. Tackman, he's trying to find his way forward, but he is in traffic, heavy traffic. As they come down the backstretch, Colby Collins waving around that time. Looked like Tackman just went in there and got right up in the door of Dean Burnt. Burnt got it spun around, so no caution. Take a look back at the front. Still Lemanchik. They were almost 3 wide again right there. I'm seeing more and more contact at the back, and it's centering around to that car with the pink hood. Right now he's in a three-way battle. Oh, there's contact out of the 031 into the back of the 40 of Tefelsky. Moves him up into the fluff. Now he'll go by. That allows Tackman by as well. So Tackman up to 5th. Collins 6th. Tefelsky 7th. And then Burnt back in 8th. But Lemanchik now opening the gap 0.6 of a second over Terry Dahl. Terry Dahl with a good run here in the B main, hanging on to 2nd. Side by side behind that, Burlew and Bud Zine, and Burlew will prevail out of turn 2 on the momentum line. You see the 67 starting to creep in and close up to the back of the 77 car, Gary Bud Zine. Still 10 to go. That time Burlew lost a bunch of momentum, and Tackman found a bunch. So did Bud Zine. Burlew goes up the hill and covers the exit line, but Tackman just cuts underneath, goes 3 wide. Burlew loses 2 spots in the space of 2 corners. He falls all the way back to 5th. Bud Zine is going to fall to 4th here. He may go back to 5th as Burlew found a run out of 2, and he takes 4th back away from Bud Zine. Good action mid-pack. It is all Tefelsky. Tackman up on the berm, had that left front riding up on the berm. Coming out of 2, he's going for 2nd. Got it up there, couldn't make it stick, but he moved Dahl into that fluffy stuff, and you're going to lose momentum. Riding up there in the marbles. And now Tackman going to close in on Lemanchik. Another slider forthcoming. I don't think he got the angle getting into the corner that he wanted, but he is not scared to move right up there and push these guys right off their line. And this time he'll probably go right up there again. Now covers and clears. New leader, 67 to Rick Tackman. Be 5 laps to go this time by. Lemanchik back to 2nd. And Bud Zine making a run at Dahl. Got in there a little heavy. Got the binders turned on and kept it out of the 53. So he'll stay 4th. Burlew is 5th. Tefelsky and Collins are going out. And Collins found the outside wall down the front stretch. He'll drop back to the 7th spot, right in front of Dean Burnt. So drivers starting to settle things out here. Burlew, Bud Zine still kind of going at it. Terry Dahl has now fallen back into the clutches of these two. Burlew up to the slick. Didn't take it up and put the right rear in the tacky stuff up there. Left plenty of room for Terry Dahl. Dahl's trying to move the cushion wider and wider, especially down in 3 and 4, and he loses the spot this time to Burlew. So Burlew is up to 3rd. They're side by side right on his bumper. We're inside 3 to go. Bud Zine clears Burlew, move him to 4, or clears Dahl, excuse me. Move Bud Zine to 4th, Dahl back to 5th. Tackman now has the lead, and he is gone 1 1/4 seconds out in front of Michael Lemanchik. Lemanchik led about the first 8 laps of this thing, and now is fighting to hang on to 2nd. Only about 0.8 of a second between he and Craig Burlew. But the white flag coming out right here for Rick Tackman. And the 67 went from the back to the front, missed the start of his heat race, ended up a lap down, had to start at the back of the B main, and he will move himself into a pretty good starting spot, somewhere around 13th when we take the grid this evening. As he comes home with your B main win, Lemanchik was 2nd, Burlew 3rd, Bud Zine 4th, Dahl 5th. Tefelsky will roll it through there 6th. Then Colby, Collins, and Dean Burnt rounding out the B main field. So if they're going to give the guys a minute or two here, We'll go pay a bill. When we come back, feature time for the Midwest Dirt Series. Oh, all right. Not sure how long they're going to give these guys to run the track, and I think they got out there and did some work, and they need to knock a bunch of the moisture, so probably the full complemented 5 minutes. See who all is in our chat to talk to tonight. See a lot of viewers in a lot of different places. Appreciate all the activity. Saw Twitch, some YouTube, see some Facebook. Sprint cars will be on in about 50 minutes. Dominic Santino will have that Down and Dirty Outlaws 410 series coming up here at about 9:30 Eastern. I know either last week or the week before they had a little trouble, server trouble, and they started a little bit late, but it's usually within a minute or two of the bottom of that 9 o'clock hour. So a little bit of warm up, a little bit of practice to run the track back in. Guys are trying to work the moisture they put down after the B main back out of the track, get it widened out so we can get a couple lanes of racing. Got 20 drivers scheduled to be in our 35 lap A main tonight. Appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. Do not forget, Dominic Santino will be here, 9:30 Eastern. 410 Outlaw Sprint Cars. And I'll be back on Tuesday, PRO Sidewinder Dirt Series. I think it's 360 Sprint Cars. They're getting down to the last 3 or so races in that series. Good Wednesday night. Dirt Slingers. Lucas Smith, Chrysler Center's I-55 Federated Auto Parts Weekly Series. Pro Late Models be round number 6 as they start the second half of that season. Had a new winner for the first time in 5 races. First 4 went to Jacob Fields, and race number 5 went to Shane Yates. I think Colby Cooper, the current points leader in that series. It looks like practice is going to end. We're going to get ready to put these guys out here for 35 A-main laps. It'll be all green flag. Any caution laps will not count. And they'll line up like this on the pole after the redraw. The 74 of Peter Brees with Scott Bittinger in the 69 on his outside. Your second row inside, Shane Yates, the 11. Jarrett Tannehill on the outside of that row. Reed Rundle inside row number 3 next to Colby Cooper. Cooper in the 9 car. Fourth row, the 11 of Cole Duggar. Colt Collins, a 94 on the outside of row number 4. Row 5, John Brunner. 46 inside. 31, Andrew Humphrey outside. It'll be the 88 of Josh Terrett Hill on the inside of the 6th row next to the 21 of Garrett Boyd. And then Rick Tackman in the 13th spot next to Mike Lemanchik in the 14th. Craig Burlew and Gary Budsey in row 8, row 9. Dahl and Tefelsky, and your 10th row, Collins and Burnt. All right, 35 laps. The last time we were here was a great race. They were 2, 3, sometimes even 4 wide. Saw some fantastic action. Be ready to see that again. Pace truck is in, just waiting for the starter to give them the green flag to get this thing started. 20 cars, 35 laps, Midwest Dirt Racing Series, Street Stocks. Knoxville Speedway underway and off of turn 2. The 74 car, Peter Brees, out in front. Shane Yates took advantage of starting right behind him, and he moves into second. Tannehill will be in the third, and then side-by-side battle. It looks like Reed Rundle off the bottom is going to take fourth away from Colby Cooper. Cole Duggar up to sixth. That's Colt Collins and Andrew Boyd. Andrew Humphrey and Rick Tackman already from 13th to 10th. And we are just about to complete lap number 2, so up 3 for Tackman. He's on the move early. Bittinger having problems. Already looks like the 69 car has gone to the pits. So has the 031 of Collins. We've got a battle for the lead. Shane Yates off the bottom of turn 2. Found momentum. Goes by Brees. Now Tannehill got it tucked right on the inside left side. Tires were right up against the berm. He just didn't have enough momentum to pull alongside. And Yates leads the third lap. Rundle took advantage of the open door, and he moves around Brees, so put him on the podium at least for the time being. As that door is still open, and Cooper is trying to follow Rundle through it and get Brees just into the top 5. Caution, Tefelsky and Lemanchik. Looks like Lemanchik was a little out of shape. Tefelsky thought he cleared him, pulled up the hill. And he right hooked himself right there, it looks like. So first caution at the end of lap number 4. Yates, Tannehill, Brees, Rundle, Cooper, Duggar, Boyd, Collins, Tackman, and Humphrey. The top 10 at the time of the caution. So 31 laps still to go. They'll line them up side by side. Collins, Tefelsky, and Tefelsky's car missing the entire right front. Lemanchik and Burnt. Burnt in 16th, the last one. Scott Bittinger's car off track. That's who I was looking for, Scott Bittinger. So 4 cars have already made an early exit. Still 16 on the track. They're all on the lead lap. Shane Yates free to go when the pace truck gets out of the way. He does exactly that. He'll lead us into 1 and 2 on the restart. Tannehill, Brees, Cooper, Rundle. Rundle and Cooper already went at it once. We'll see what happens here. Sean Judson, I expected better. LOL. So Rundle working on the top side. He is going to clear Cooper, and Cooper's got his teammate right up under the bumper. On the back of the 9 car, that's the 21 of Garrett Boyd right next to him. Cole Duggar in the 11. Kip Duggar suspiciously absent from tonight's event. The 48 car. And he's normally right up at the front of these things, especially in the early going. But a good battle right here. Brees is 3rd, Rundle is 4th, Cooper is 5th, Boyd in 6th, Duggar in 7th, and Tackman now up to 8th as Rick Tackman trying to drive through the field. He started 13th, he's plus 5. Garrett Boyd up in the 6th spot, started 12th, he is plus 6 right now. He's working to the outside of his teammate. That's going to be Cooper in the 9 car, and Cooper in deep in 3 and 4. Got to the corner on the 43 of Rundle and had to slow it up just a little bit. And that'll allow Boyd to go wide in 2. Does he have enough momentum to pull alongside and keep Cooper pinned in? As Duggar's going to try to make a 3 wide, he rubs the rear end on the 9 car and gets him free. Trying to loosen him up before turn 3. Cooper keeping it steady. He's got those guys locked in now. Tackman works to the inside of Duggar. 3 wide for about 7th position. That time Tackman and Duggar, a little contact. Tackman's up on the berm. Duggar's holding him down tight. Doesn't want him to have that momentum on the exit and get that run off. They're 2 wide, 2 deep. Teammates in front. Cooper and Boyd side by side. And then Tackman and Duggar is going to prevail there. They're 2 wide again at the front 4 rows. 2 wide. We're only 10 laps into this thing. I told you these guys like to go side by side, and they are doing that throughout the front 8 positions. We're watching the battle for the lead. Yates trying to hang on, but Tannehill really putting some pressure there on the inside. He is keeping that left front just barely up on the berm, and it's a perfect way to get that car to rotate. That time he had to check it down a little. Brees is going to go by. Go back here. Rundle is still 4th. Now Cooper and Boyd, they're still side by side. That's 5th and 6th. And they've got Duggar and Tackman trapped in behind this battle, and they're staying side by side. We were almost 3 wide for 2nd as Brees has company with Tannehill on the inside, and Tannehill had Rundle down on the inside. No contact. Nobody getting turned around. Everybody racing hard. And now they single file it out. Yates, Brees, Tannehill, Boyd, your top 5. Behind that, Cooper and Duggar side by side. And I don't think that's going to last long as Duggar's got the momentum off the top side of 2. And now he's going to look to the inside of the 21 of Boyd. And I've seen this move before, but I'm not going to see it that time as Boyd had all the momentum through 3 and 4. Tackman tucks in behind Cooper. Tackman in the A spot. Colt Collins in 94 is 9th, and Andrew Humphrey the 31 in 10th. Then it's Budzing, Hill, Burlew, Burnt, Brunner, and Dahl rounding out the field as we go back. They're pretty much single file now. We're down to about 20 to go. So the 11 of Yates, 0.4 of a second over Brees. Brees and Tannehill nose to tail, second and third. Rundle sits in fourth, and he's got company. Once Boyd got around Cooper, he ran right up to the bumper of the 43, and he has stayed right there. Duggar still has all kinds of company behind him as Colby Cooper in the 9 car has stayed tucked right in line, and Tackman keeps trying to get the nose in. He wants to move the 9 up the hill. We watched him do it through the entire B-main. You get that nose in there and root you off your line, and then you use it to gain the momentum to get around you. He'll make you adjust your line and get into that fluff. And once you're up there, there is no grip. And Cooper keeping it right where the cushion should be. Gets a little wide that time, opens the door. Now Tackman is going to get the nose in there. And Tackman's just going to keep working right through that middle, and Cooper got up in the fluff. That's what Tackman wants, and that's what he needs. Now he'll come in. He'll move him up just a little further. Cooper with a good drive off the bottom of 3 and 4. He'll go in, he'll go to the center, try to use the middle to find some grip. Tackman's on the top side, already got the car wound up. And Tackman goes up into the fluff, so Cooper's got an opportunity to take the spot away again. Front 6, nose to tail. The best battle on the track is right here, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Cooper got across in front of Tackman. Tackman couldn't cut underneath because Colt Collins has brought the 94 car into this battle, and he is keeping the inside covered. Cooper right on the line, maybe got the right rear up in the fluff. That time Tackman was able to cut the car early. He'll be alongside getting into 3 and 4. He is going to come in. He's going to go all the way across and way up to the top. He has the spot this time by. So Tackman up to 7th. Cole Duggar now starting to work over this 5th place car of Garrett Boyd. It is all Yates, and he has maintained 0.4 of a second consistently for the last 8 laps over Peter Brees. Tannehill not able to work around Brees. Ooh, we're seeing a move right here as Duggar got around Boyd. And I don't know if there was contact or if Duggar just got a good run. Boyd lost some momentum, but now Cole Duggar into your top 5. Boyd is 6th, and now Tackman, Cooper, and Collins are going at it again, and these 3, I don't know if I want to try to slide a piece of paper in between either of those 3 cars. They are running really tight. Cooper now gives up both spots to Tackman and Collins, moving back to 8th. Tackman on a tear. He is up here trying to get around the 21. Both drivers 6 places improved from their starting positions. Boyd to the top. Cushion starting to move up just a little bit. Gonna hang on to 6th spot for now. Brees got his hands full still. The 81 of Jarrett Tannehill has been all over that 75 car. We're down to 9 laps to go. Cole Duggar just gave a shot in the pants to the 43 of Reed Rundle. Late in the race, he's starting to come to life. This is pretty typical for the 11 car here at Knoxville. He goes around into turns 3 and 4. He'll move to 4th. Rundle back to 5th. Boyd still has 6th. And Tackman now is into the battle again with Collins and Cooper. As Collins and Cooper have contact coming out of 4, and that opens up a little breathing room for the 67 attackman. And he'll refocus and go after the 21 of Boyd. Still Yates out in front. Brees went for the slider line. I'm not sure if that was the best idea as it opens up the top. And Tannehill's going to pull alongside. Tannehill right even with Brees, this time out of 2. Brees trying to follow in the tire tracks of the 11 car. And Yates losing a lot of time, and he's got that 11 in the slick down here at both ends of the track, and Tannehill's going to the top. Tannehill, big momentum run through the middle of turn 2. New leader going into turn number 3. Can he hang on and see the wave lap, the 5 to go signal? He'll be 0.4 of a second in front of Yates. Brees still third. Rundle is 4th. Duggar is 5th. Boyd is 6th, and he's got company as Tackman's back on top of him. Collins has gotten around Cooper, so put Collins in 8th, Cooper in 9th, and Humphreys is still 10th. It is quite a ways back to the 11th place car of Craig Burlew. But we are going to see a run to the finish here with 4 laps to go. Tannehill starting to get away from these guys. He is out to almost a full second over Shane Yates. Yates changed his line there with about 10 to go, and I think this is going to cost him this race. Here comes Duggar. Duggar goes high side on Rundle. Rundle got the car in the slick, had to check it down. Duggar takes 4th away, and he may not be done. He may be back on the podium if he can get around the 74 of Brees. He's got 2 laps to do it, and he really got in there deep in 3. Might be pulling up alongside down the front stretch. Duggar just finds something late in these races, and that car just goes right through the middle, right there. And you can see he starts to drive away. That time got loose out of 2. Tannehill and Yates 1-2. This right here, the battle for 3rd. Duggar still finding that grip on the very top of the track. Now has himself on the podium, but Brees is not giving up on this. He may not have a choice now, as that time huge run for the 11 car of Duggar. So move Duggar to the podium. The lead being contested in the last set of corners right here. Tannehill way up top. I think he's going to hang on. He's going to win tonight's A main. Shane Yates 2nd. Cole Duggar on the podium once again. Peter Brees and Reed Rundle rounding out your top 5. So another great run, side-by-side action. Most of the feature for these guys. We will wait for our top 3 to come around here and get them all parked up. We will head down. And get ready to talk to our top 3. There's Cole. He's already here. He's ready to go. Cole Duggar's already ready to go. Man, you got out of that car quick, buddy. Tell us about your run of the feature tonight.
Yeah, it was really hard to pass throughout the whole race. We ran pretty much the high line all the way through practice just about and opened up the whole track for about the last 45 seconds or so with 20 cars on there to get the rest of the track moving, get the slick off of it. But that was a tough track there for a long time. It was pretty much single file for, I'd say, 90% of the race, unfortunately. But there at the end, that trusty cushion here at Knoxville up on the wall came in real solid and was able to make a few passes. I think I was running 7th or so most of the race, and I think I got into Garrett Boyd once, and I do apologize for that. Do want to make that known. But lucky to be able to make up some spots there at the end of the race, thanks to the cushion on here at Knoxville.
Well, as we've always seen, the 11 car comes to life pretty late in these things anyway, and you really were rocketing across the center of those corners, man. It's got to be a fine line between being on it and being over it and into the fence. How close were you?
Yeah, it's definitely inches or less. I mean, if you can get the front tire up on the cushion too, you drive it real straight, almost like a pavement car. That'll help give you a lot of speed. But when that rear end hits it, you got to be prepared. And if you're not prepared for it and not turning left, if you're counter steered, you're just going straight into the fence. So it's kind of a dance.
Well, an awesome run, man. I'm sure you got some shout outs before we let you get out of here tonight.
Yeah, the Judge Designs, KDC Photography, Beard 2, Beard Oil. He's talking, it was really fast. Can't thank all those guys enough. And Sean, Scott, AJ, Kip, he's not running tonight, but yeah, I got to thank all those guys for sure. And Roger, thank you for the broadcast.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for chatting with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you. I will be back for your season finale. I think we're going to have Zach Krieger cover you guys next week as we get close to the end of this thing. But congratulations again, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Thanks, Roger.
Cole Duggar, your third-place finisher, and back on the podium again. Now let's move on to the driver that came home second. He led the vast majority of this thing and laid in it. I got to ask him, what did you do to give up the lead there, Mr. Yates? Because you had this thing well in hand.
I didn't go to the top soon enough, and I do run a mirror, and I seen him coming pretty hard in my mirror, but just because I run a mirror, really, I think they shouldn't run mirrors in dirt. So I didn't want to jump up there and take his line, so I let him by me. But I didn't know that the way he was running at Knoxville, I've never seen it run like that, all the way against the wall. So I wasn't trying that. I was like, man, I got to try what he's doing. And it's fast.
Yeah, it looks like the 11 car of Duggar was doing the same thing, and right across the middle they gained so much speed. And I was wondering, because you ran kind of right above the slick right there for the longest time, and all of a sudden you went to the bottom and he just closed on you like gangbusters. So I agree 1,000% that we should be able to turn the mirrors off for dirt, because I've never been in a dirt car in my life that had a mirror. I don't foresee that to ever happen in the future either, so I am not a fan. But, man, a great run nonetheless, and you're starting to show out just a little bit here recently, the last few shows here on the Dirt Racing Network. Some podiums and a win last week. Did you change something in the way you've been driving?
I'm just getting better, I guess. I really don't know. Internet's better, too.
Well, it's always a pleasure to watch you go fast out here and pick these up, man. Who do you got to give some shout out to tonight before we let you celebrate a good night of racing at Knoxville?
My team No Love, you guys for putting this on, and you for broadcasting.
All right, thanks for chatting with us, Shane. Congratulations again. Look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
All right, see you both.
Shane Yates comes home second. And I am not sure, my memory isn't what it used to be, but I think that maybe it might only be the second time that we've had him up here to chat, and I think it's his first win in the series. But Jarrett Tannehill, you got a copy? Are you there? Maybe he's having a microphone issue.
Hey, Roger, can you hear me?
There we go. Now we got you.
Hey, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's all right, man. Heck of a run. You found something there with 10 to go, and you're able to get around one of the toughest in the business, man. Tell us, what'd you find, and how were you able to get around that guy?
Yeah, I was. I saw the line moving up to the top a little bit, and it was pretty one groove, for the first 25 or so, and I was trying to get around Peter on the bottom. I couldn't get the runoff that I needed, so I just started flirting more and more with that top side. I figured it would come in eventually, and kind of felt my car took off in one of the corners, and I knew I had it. I just had to hope that they didn't find it before me, and luckily I got the top working and got around them.
Well, an awesome run in just a few weeks from the end of the season. You put the 81 car in victory lane, man. got to give you a little bit of bright outlook for the last couple races of the season here.
Yeah, I've been consistently up front. I think we're third in points right now, but yeah, it's really nice to get a win. I didn't want to finish the season without a win, so I'm glad to get that win, monkey off my back.
Well, some shout-outs, some thank yous, and we'll let you celebrate a great one this evening.
Yeah, I got to thank my mom and dad, my girlfriend, my sister, my brother, everyone that supports me. I got to give a thank you to you for nice broadcast, and I got to give a special shout-out this week to Brian Crossley from BJC Designs. He gave me a nice set of pedals, and they've been making a huge difference for me, just more throttle control and everything. So again, thank you to Brian Crossley from BJC Designs.
All right, man, congrats on the win. We'll look forward to seeing you. I'll be back for the season finale, but I look forward to watching next Sunday night as you guys wind down to about 2 to go.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Roger.
Your winner tonight, Jarrett Tannehill. Let's take a look at the official results. Tannehill wins the 8th to 2nd. Cole Duggar in 3rd. Then it was Brees in 4th. Rundle 5th. 6th to Boyd. Colby Cooper comes home in 7th. Colt Collins in 8th. Rick Tackman, after a great drive, he will come home in the 9th position. Andrew Humphrey in 10th. Craig Burlew 11th. Gary Budzine 12th. 13th to Josh Terrett Hill. John Brunner in 14th. Terry Dahl 15th. 16th was Dean Burnt. Scott Bininger in 17th. And rounding out the field this evening, Michael Lemanchik in 18th. I'm sorry, that's not rounding out the field. It'll be Dan Tefelsky and Colby Cooper rounding out the field, 19th and 20th behind Lemanchik. So with just 2 to go, Tannehill gets the win, puts himself on the victory board. We will see how it shakes out with just 2 races to go. I will not be here for next week's race. I'm either Zach or I'm going to try to get Dom to cover it for these guys, as I will be in Texas for the NASCAR All-Star race. I will look forward to at least watching on my handheld device while I'm there and seeing who picks up the win. But I want to thank all the fans for tuning in, watching the race. Always a pleasure to bring great racing to you. You saw a good one tonight if you were here. Be sure you tune in the rest of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, for all the action. Right now, you can swap over and go watch the Down and Dirty Outlaws 410 series. Dominic Santino will be on the call. Be sure to say hi in the chat. Let him know you're there. But until we see you the next time, for Zach, Dom, and myself here at the Dirt Racing Network,